Ultimately, our consumer will have to choose from one of the magenta bundles that lies on the final budget constraint. Since all of those bundles lie below her original indifference curve, we know that she'll therefore have to switch from a higher indifference curve to a lower indifference curve. Such a switch entails a decrease in her real well-being or her real income, and we therefore know that the price increase has given rise to an income effect. However, it's not a pure income effect, because a pure income effect keeps opportunity costs constant and simply changes the income. Here, opportunity costs have changed, as illustrated by the fact that the budget constraint has gotten steeper. And now somewhere in there's also a substitution effect. The total change in behavior by the consumer is the combination of the substitution and the income effect. We'll begin here by first isolating the substitution effect and then showing the income effect from there. We'll do this by imagining that we can give the consumer enough additional income to make her no worse off at the higher gasoline price than she was at the original gasoline price. In other words, we'll take the slope of the final budget constraint, but shift that final budget constraint parallel as we give her additional income until it is tangent to her original indifference curve. This new budget constraint is referred to as the compensated budget, because it includes compensation for the fact that a price change has happened. We will usually denote the point of tangency between the original indifference curve and the compensated budget as bundle B. Now notice that if you look at this graph carefully and you ignore the final budget constraint on the graph, we have a picture that looks exactly like the Cayman Island picture from the previous graphs. We have a steep budget, just like we had the steep taxi budget. We have a shallow budget, just like we had a shallow rental car budget. And both budgets are tangent to the same indifference curve, resulting in a bundle A and a bundle B. Thus what we have here is a pure substitution effect. In other words, the change in behavior from A to B is solely due to the change in the trade-offs that this consumer faces as a result of the increase in the price of gasoline, and not due to the fact that her real income or her real well-being has changed, which it hasn't. Not at least along this indifference curve. And, since the vertical axis is denominated in dollars, we can read the dollar value of the compensation required to make our consumer just as well off after the price increase as she was before on the vertical axis by the distance that is indicated here.